My suggestion is, and what I've always done in the past, is packing one set of my uniform that you can wash a million times if you need to. But in this specific case, we don't have our uniform just yet, so we'll be getting it when we arrive, which is great. Hi there, and welcome back to my channel, Savor the Moment. In this video, I will be taking you on my journey of packing for our US flight to Florida. So the reason for this mess behind me, as you can see, is I want to show you guys how I've packed and how I do pack, just to help share some tips that you might learn and some tricks about how to pack your stuff and what to pack and what not to pack. And if you have any tips to give me and share, I will so appreciate it. I'm always looking for new ways to better literally make packing and traveling smooth, because let's face it, it doesn't matter how well you think you're prepared for an international flight, there's always something small that goes wrong. And my view is, it's not a holiday or an international trip or a work trip if something doesn't go slightly wrong. But what I want to make sure is that you have more right than wrong, and by the time you get to the airport, there is nothing that's going to make you panic, and you're all set and ready, and you have the basics of what you need. So please watch this video, like and subscribe if you like the content, share it with other people that are traveling. They may learn a tip or two that will definitely help their international trip, or even a local trip. It doesn't matter where you're flying. It will help, is all I'm saying. Anyway, let's have a look at what I have so far. So as you guys can see, I have laid out my suitcases, my very big empty suitcases. And I have a couple of things that I've laid out just to make it easier for this video, just so you can see what I've done. So starting off with toiletries. My best advice, guys, is whenever you're buying something, so obviously in this case, there is a box because it's a Dove soap bar, but if you're buying anything that comes in boxes, unpack it. Take it out of its wrapping. The reason being is it honestly adds weight. You think it might not, but it really does. So what I've done is I have packed my toiletry bag and my boyfriend's toiletry bag. We are both traveling, so we'll obviously share the load of everything we're taking. I haven't made it too complicated. These are disposables, but really I have purchased one of everything that we'll need: shampoo and conditioner, cream, mouthwash. Okay, super basic. What I've also put in here is deodorant, body washes, face creams, the little knickknacks that I might need, but as you can see, it's also super basic. I haven't made it complicated. Dove soap bar is life, guys, and this is all I have used, not even gonna lie, for the past 12 years. I found it, it has never left my home, okay? So I've just packed a little bit extra, and the reason why I have is Dove does not smell exactly the same everywhere in the world. It is the strangest thing. So if there is something that you specifically like, definitely get a little bit extra. Don't go crazy. It's not worth it, because you will find an alternative in the US. There are so many options that you'll love. The second biggest tip, I have to tell you guys, get a converter plug. And the reason why I say this is because I thought in the past that I would be able to buy it when I get into the US. It's not as easy, and sometimes they can be a lot more expensive, so just go prepared. Obviously these can fit your extension plugs, so if you have a 3-prong, this will literally help save your life, especially for the girls, because we all know we need these guys, okay? So definitely get yourself some converter plugs. It's super, super, super helpful. Towel, you guys know what that's for. This is a little prezi I'm going to be taking for my sister, who is also in the States. And this, guys, this is one of my favorite things I have ever purchased ever for traveling. So this is a collapsible box. especially for the girls. What I end up using it for is for sanitary stuff. So you keep it in the bathroom, it's hidden, it's discreet, it's pretty looking. Nobody has to know what it's for if it's for you. But it's also great because you can literally put brushes in there. You can put your blow dryer to fit in there. If you have hair ties, you can put that in there. So another one of my little tips that I use, and you can obviously use something different. I just keep my hair ties in here, and I've got a whole bunch of bobby pins at the bottom, just to make sure that I've got everything I need. Hair ties are like socks, they disappear. Ask me where they go, I have no idea. There must be a home for all the hair ties of every girl that have disappeared over the years. Something else I am agonizing over, I got this gift. It is the most delicious gown to have at home, and my mom and my sister got it embroidered. Oh, that's just fallen off, bugger. So this gown is the most lush gown I have ever, and my mom and my sister got this embroidered for me. Yes, my nickname is Angel. And I am torn. This has to come with me. Like, it is the most comfortable thing ever. It is absolutely awesome. So yeah, that's something that's definitely going in there. So this is the pre-pack stuff. You guys will obviously see now how I pack my suitcase, and we'll take a few minutes to go through that. Okay guys, so first thing I'm going to be doing, and I usually don't pack a towel with me, but just because there's a couple of unknown variables, I would like to just be semi-prepared. So usually how I pack my towels, and it's only because when you roll them up, it tends to take up a little bit of space. So in my smaller suitcase, I'm literally just going to lay it out, because then it's sort of hidden and it doesn't take up too much space. Okay, so tip number one. The next thing I'm going to start doing is I'm just going to pull out the clothes and really roll them up and see how everything fits. So yeah, this is what we're going to be doing. So much fun. Anyway, what I'm going to start with are my pants. So just going to take out all of my pants because there's so many, and I'm going to start just rolling these up and packing them, just so you can see how that all goes. And the reason why I roll pants and clothing, it actually just makes so much more space. It's weird how that sort of works. And also the clothes don't end up being as creased. Like, obviously clothes will be creased. It doesn't matter how you pack them when you travel, they will always have a crease in them. But at least when they're rolled, you can clearly see what's there and what isn't there. And it just, yeah, it's just great for saving space. So just remember guys, when you're going overseas, and especially if you're going for a long period of time and you will be working, do not overpack clothes. The US has so many beautiful options, and you will not want to wear anything that you brought with you once you step into the first mall. So don't take too much, take what you need, take what you know you'll wear and what's honestly going to see you through, and do processes of elimination. So you can see I'm doing a process of elimination. I definitely know those tights are almost at the end, so I will be taking those few pants. Something to also be mindful of is what you're going to wear when you travel. So my general rule of thumb is tights, because they're just the most comfy and they'll keep you warm, they'll keep you cool. I really love green, as you can see. So I am going to put these aside. I don't usually travel with a sports bra, but I must be honest, they are super comfy. I do not enjoy wired bras. I know that might be too much information, but this is just so much comfy. So I'm going to keep this in my cupboard so I know exactly what I'm going to be wearing. I am going to take out some of this stuff. So literally moving into little t-shirts now. We are going to Florida, and although the consensus is that it's quite warm, in the winter season it does get a little bit cooler, so just make sure you are packing a couple of long sleeves. Don't go overboard. It's not like going to New York in the winter. It is a lot more temperate, so you won't suffer so badly. So just make sure that you've got a couple of long sleeves and don't overpack. Yeah, packing is lots of fun, they said. Go to America, they said. It'll be fun. Anyway, I'm kidding. I love packing. I am a stickler for having things all in their place. Oh, so what I'm just packing here, just so you guys can see, it's literally 2 workout long sleeves, just so I've got a little something. And because we do intend to go to the gym, or at least go for a walk or for a run. And I have a tiny itty bitty coloring. Okay, so that's all sorted there. This is going to stay behind. So I also just have some comfy pants that I love. These are from Bali. Friends of mine got these for me, so super sentimental about all of these things, which can sometimes be a hindrance because I just want to keep all of the things. Okay, so I'm just going to lay these out just because I'm a bit indecisive about the tracksuit pants for now. Please don't judge the crinkly shorts, it's a beef. They were once fun, so I'm just going to put these extras here for now, just simply because I want to pack into this bag and do a bit of a process of elimination. Okay, I've got a couple of dresses that I also just want to think about. Just turn this inside out. Packing dresses is really tricky, and I'd be lying if I said I have the perfect recipe of how to fold them, but I don't. I generally just take it as it comes. Okay, this is just another little white t-shirt that I can chuck over my jeans. Do you see how many flowy pants I have? So this is why I wanted to keep the pants out, just simply because I know I have a few and I do not want to take all of them. These are like a flare pants, so just don't mind how I've folded them for right now. I just want to lay it out so I can see what's going on. And I have another thing embroidered. So another 30th birthday present. I have these beautiful satin or silk. Yeah, I'm not too educated on these things, I won't lie. But anyway, it is absolutely delicious and I absolutely love this. So, and it has my full name on it, which is so amazing. And my best friend got this for me. So yeah, another sentimental thing to take with me, and it's PJs and it's super nice and cool. And they also come with pants, which is great. So I am just going to pack this on the outside for now, just because this is such a simple thing that will fold into literally all the crevices. So that's also a thing to think about. And remember, you know, as much as Florida, we're going in winter at the moment, Florida is really warm and quite humid. So always check what the temperatures look like and the humidity before traveling to any part of the world. Okay, I have made some mistakes where I didn't quite anticipate what the weather is going to be like. And simply because I was such a novice at traveling at the time. I had no idea and I packed for the wrong stuff. So yeah, you end up being in a bit of a pickle. And for those of you that travel on the ships, especially on the ships, you could be in a situation where you've come on board the last 2 or 3 cruises for the summer season, and then you could be going to a colder place. So you could be going to Norway, or you could be going to Alaska. And even the Alaska season might be a little bit warmer. It is a little bit cold. And towards the end of the season, it gets freezing. So it's a lot harder to pack when you're trying to think about all the different seasons you might be in, especially if you're working on the ships. But best advice is take the basics, do not overpack, where you're going that's colder, unfortunately the clothing is more bulky, and that's where the real trick comes in. Looking at things you can layer and what you can buy that will keep you warmer. So you know, like ski undergarments, those are really a great tip. Little heat packs, and if you're working on the ship, 9 times out of 10 you won't really get too much time to get onto land, but if you do have the opportunity, you want to be prepared and you want to enjoy that experience. So that's just a little sidebar tip for you there. The queen of green, guys. The queen of green. There's more green. I absolutely love this throw over. It works for everything, especially if the weather is not quite hot and not quite cold. It just works for that. This is one of my favorite things, especially for the beach. Chuck it over your cozy. This is definitely going with. So as you can see, I'm just chucking out so that I can see everything, and then I will start rolling it up and putting it in. So what I want to say is, the moment you're packing and you start seeing it in your suitcase, that also changes the perspective, right? So you could be thinking, oh, you know, like I could take all of this stuff with me. And the moment you have it spread out and you start putting it into your suitcase, you realize, oh, hang on, maybe I can just eliminate a couple of things here and there. And it makes a difference, not a word of a lie, it really does. So don't be afraid to go back to what you've packed and just rethink what you've got. Nothing wrong with that. These are my thing. Absolutely love these feather down jackets, and reason being, and this is just me, I am generally hotter than most people, so I get warm really quickly. And if I have something that keeps like my body warm, my organs, this is great because you can chuck a long sleeve underneath, put this on, it's super warm, and because it's feather down, you can literally fold it up into a tiny little bundle, so it won't take up too much space. My absolute fave. This is what I'm going to be traveling in. I have a pullover sweater, which is really great. It's super soft and super warm. I generally like to travel with extra, so I'm probably going to wear this over my tights and have this as an extra. You know, we're going to be traveling for 21 hours. The last thing you want is to be feeling sweaty and gross, and my whole thing is I do not like having a body odor. I'm so funny about that, so I'm very conscious of it. And honestly, a change of a shirt, a change of knickers, a change of socks, like it makes a difference, and you kind of feel like you've convinced yourself you've had a shower. Just to strip off all of that stuff, it feels good. Obviously, my go-to is I change once we've arrived in our first airport and we've gone through customs. Sometimes that's not always possible. Changing in a airplane toilet is not easy. It's a very limited space. So what I do is I take wet wipes. So I just give myself a little cool down and do a little change. So that's a thing I do. Is it weird? Let me know in the comments if that's strange. I feel like it's not weird. But anyway, if you do it as well, let me know. If you have a better trick to feel a bit more fresh during a flight, let me know. Other than actually physically having a shower, right? So this is what I'm traveling with. And without being too over the top about it, this is my winter jacket. So a few years ago, I went on a trip to Sweden, and I actually went to Scandinavia. So I went to Sweden and Norway, I went to Russia, I went to Berlin. It was the most amazing trip ever, and it wasn't summer, it was basically the fall. So it was a little bit cold. I actually visited my mom on her cruise ship, which was such an amazing experience. And this was my go-to. I freaking love it. I love that it's long, so it kind of just keeps you insulated. I wouldn't say that this is a jacket you would take into the snow, but this definitely protected me. So this is going to come with, simply because I made an investment into this. this will probably go in my boyfriend's cases. So we're just gonna put it back in the cupboard for when we pack his stuff. Shoes are another thing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just finish up on the packing, and then what I generally try to do is I keep clothes on one side and I try and do shoes on the side. And this suitcase is really cool because it has a little zip off side on this side, which is great. So I can put shoes on here. And then what I also do, and I'll get to that point, is all of the little bits and pieces. So I brought a lint roller because I don't like fluff on my clothes. But anyway, the lint roller will literally like disappear into the abyss of stuff. Okay, it's a little bit easier to pack it like that than trying to pack it all in one place, because it just gets a bit too chunky, and it just honestly, like, it's like finding little surprises that you've sent to yourself from yourself. That's why I love doing it. It's like, oh, this, I put that there. Obviously be intentional about what you're putting away, but that is one of the things I do. So now, to do a process of elimination in terms of pants. So I'm all for white pants. I think I will do this one. Love this one. Love this one.
Seven hours later.
So this is packing a jigsaw puzzle, okay? Pack it how it fits. That's honestly the best advice I have. It just makes it less complicated. And I must be honest, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. A bit is an understatement. Yeah, that was a lie. I am a perfectionist. So I also have to control how I feel about what's happening. And the fact that it doesn't look perfect doesn't have to be the end of the world. So, you know, if it fits like in an awkward spot, just shove it in there. When you unpack, it will all go into cupboard, super nice and neat. So don't over analyze how it's looking. As long as it's packed nicely and you're feeling like, okay, I can actually physically see what's going on, you're doing a good job. Practical person, so I like to just make sure that what I'm doing is practical, what I'm taking is practical, and that I am not packing something that I hardly wear. So this is another thing, like packing something that you hardly wear is also not worth it, because if you hardly wear it at home, you're gonna hardly wear it where you're taking it. So you're taking this extra weight of something you hardly wear. So take the things that you genuinely wear more often than not, and leave the things behind. And I don't know if it's me only, but the shirt will be slightly faded and I'll still wear that shirt rather than the new shirt I've just bought. Like, I'm weird like that. I'm sure a few people are as well, the same. So yeah, take what you wear. Don't waste your weight on stuff that won't actually matter. So a tip I wanted to speak about is if you are traveling for work and you already have your uniform on you. So say, for example, you're going back to the same country club and you have that uniform and it's still good, or you're going back to the ships, the cruise liners, and you still have your uniform. My suggestion is don't pack everything all in one bag and take out a pair. So take out one shirt and one pants for work, and potentially your shoes are like, it's always a tricky one with shoes, right? Because shoes you can literally grab anywhere. And if you don't have this very strict dress code in terms of your shoes, so if it just needs to be a black pair, then wear a black pair when you're traveling, because if your luggage doesn't arrive and you have to start work the next day, you're going to go into flat panic stations and it's just going to cause unnecessary stress. So my suggestion is, and what I've always done in the past, is packing one set of my uniform that you can wash a million times if you need to. But in this specific case, we don't have our uniform just yet, so we'll be getting it when we arrive, which is great. which means we're sort of lucky because we don't have to stress about, oh, okay, so how are we going to cope if we don't have the things we need for the first few days if your luggage doesn't arrive. The thing is, guys, it happens. You might think, oh, it won't happen to me, but it does. And in this case, let's just put out the good energy. We hope our luggage arrives with us. But when we do pack for our carry-on bag, because our uniform's already there, so I'll have like the little bit of extras I would sort of need, but I'm not going to be too crazy about it because we'll get everything when we arrive. Water break. Okay, back to the packing of shirts.
"2,000 years later."
Alrighty, so I have just unpacked the shoes that I'm going to be taking, okay? And as you can see, I'm not complicating it, okay? I've got my trainers, I have these really cool shoes that my mom got for me from Europe, I have a pair of boots. We love hiking. Hiking is one of my boyfriend's and myself's favorite things. So we will be doing a little bit of hiking where we're going. I'm not a huge high heel wearer, but these are super cute and super comfy and they go with everything. And flip-flops. Flip-flops, tongs, slip-ons, whatever you like to call them, these are coming with. I am a huge lover of the skinny sole Converse shoes. I also have a white pair. I might be traveling in these, but I haven't decided just yet. And I'll tell you why in a second. So these are the shoes that I'm taking. I'm not taking too many, otherwise it just gets complicated and it gets heavy. And yeah, we're all about weight at this stage. There are a couple of other little things that I'm going to be packing into my luggage. So I have some delicious curry spice that I would like to take with me. I have wrapped that up really nicely. It's come in a sealed bag, so that's perfectly cool. And it's going to literally live somewhere in the clothes. I also have our work shoes. So I'm tempted to actually wear these while we're traveling, and simply because if you are going to be on your feet, when you work on the ships, you'll know you are on your feet all day. If you're in hospitality, it's the same thing. We have these super comfy shoes that we got. Wearing them in before you start your work is super important. So I might just travel with these, and also they slip on, so it's a lot easier to travel. They've got a little bit of room for expansion because your feet swell when you travel. So these might be what I actually end up traveling with. So I'm just going to keep these aside because this is probably what I'll be taking with me. The last and final thing that I'm going to share with you is how and what to put in your backpack. So I have my backpack that's here. I'm just going to open it up for you guys. I don't want to make it too complicated. As you can see, I have put my laptop in already. So that is going to come with. All the charging cables will go in there as well. And a little travel hack that I have is a Ziploc bag of all of your liquids. So if you've traveled overseas before, you know exactly what I'm about to explain. But if you haven't, this is generally what they'll want, especially going to the States. They are very, very strict about liquids. So just make sure that everything you're getting is less than 100 mils. As you all know, because we're going through a pandemic, you're going to be putting a lot of hand sanitizer on your hands. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, my hands literally shed, okay? So hand cream, and it smells nice. So I have that as well, and I have toothpaste. So I have a little 50 ml toothpaste. It's honestly the best thing. So back in the day, and I don't know if some of you might remember this, but when you used to travel on international long haul flights especially, you would get a tiny little toothpaste and a tiny toothbrush, and it was a lifesaver. And I took a flight and they didn't give any of it. And I was freaking out because I was like, oh my God, my breath probably smells so bad. Because when you're traveling, like, oh, it's just so complicated. And yeah, so Now, I just make it a general rule of thumb that I travel with my own toothpaste and my own toothbrush. I mean, you probably don't really want to know this, but I love softer bristles. So I have the toothbrush I want. This is mine and my boyfriend's. We actually have an electric toothbrush that we'll be packing, but this is great for travel, and it's all going to go in here. For the girls, I also have just intimate wipes. They're individually packaged. It's just a little bit easier if you need to get to the bathroom. And I have gum as well. So the reason why I pack gum and I've put it in here is just because it gets lost in everything, so it's just easier to keep it in one spot. I take gum with me just because the cabin pressure when you're traveling, it really affects my ears. I get really blocked ears, so gum really helps with that, and it also just helps to freshen your breath. And I have a travel-sized perfume bottle. This is so helpful. It changed my life being able to get these little sample travel packs. These are like 5 minutes, 10 minutes long. So honestly, this helps, and you can just freshen yourself up for your flight. I also have a little pouch here that has all of my cords. Especially when traveling, you sort of don't want to be like rummaging through your backpack for everything. So things like your earphones and travel cords, this will all go in here and it will live in my bag. The other thing that I have bought that literally changed how I travel with my jewelry is this Amazon hookup. Guys, this is honestly amazing. This has all of the little spots that you need. Earrings, it keeps everything neat and tidy, which is fantastic, and it has a little spot here for your necklaces. So as you can see, I've got my necklaces behind me, so I will pack them probably just before we fly, and most of it is costume jewelry. What I do want to say is that when you are traveling, honestly, they never do gardening on a Friday, but today there was gardening. So what I do want to say about jewelry, and this is something that's super important, is do not put your valuables in your checked luggage. It happened to me once. I did a flight and my stuff was stolen, and a lot of the stuff I had was very sentimental. So it's a general rule of thumb that I do now. I put all of my important jewelry that I love and that's very sentimental, and it comes with me in my backpack. There is no issues with traveling with your jewelry, so just make sure that you've got a nice little package that you can put everything into. This is the best thing I have ever found. It's great, it's not too big, it doesn't take up a hell of a lot of space, and it fits perfectly in your backpack. Okay, so this is something you guys should definitely consider. And the last and final tip that I have is a travel pillow. So as you can see, this travel pillow clips together. One of the reasons why I love this, and I'll just do a quick demonstration for you, is if you fall asleep, okay, and the ones that don't have the clip in the front, generally they slip off sometimes. So what I find, especially when you fall asleep, okay, the front part isn't super supportive, but if you twist it, okay, and this is life-changing, for me anyway, if you twist it, and you lean in, you've got a little bit more support on your chin and for your head. So if you fall asleep and you fall forward, you're not falling too forward, and it's not going to slip off of you as well while you're trying to sleep. This is life-saving. One of the other things I do, and I don't know if it's just me because I'm slightly weird, is I spray this with perfume. I just love things that smell nice, and when you're traveling, you know, you're sweating a lot, so if there's something that can rub off on you that smells good, that doesn't irritate your skin, just do a little spritz. That's my vibe. I love this little pillow. I love that it has a nice soft material on this side, because this kind of material generally makes me feel a lot more sweaty, whereas this side, it's nice and soft and it's just super comfy. So thank you guys for watching my video and packing up my life for our next adventure, and I hope that you have learned something of value and you can take it on your future journeys, which I hope you have many. And if there is something that you can teach me, please share it in the comment section. I'm always looking for ways to better pack my stuff so that it's a bit more streamlined and it's not so crazy. And please remember to like and subscribe. This has been so much fun. I have never done this before, just as a disclaimer. So I hope that you got a lot of value from this and you learned a few tips and tricks. And thank you guys for watching. And I will see you guys in the next video where we're actually flying out.